Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about a method and two baits that I use um, to achieve this method and have greater success tournament fishing. So I'm going to start us off with an example of say you're fishing a big tournament down at Lake of the Ozarks, and it's a pre-spawn tournament. It's that end pre-spawn, but not quite spawn, that period that we all love when they're eating really good. Every single boat in that tournament is going to run to the backs of the creeks, and they're going to be fishing that productive water, which is that last 100 to 200 yard stretch of bluff or of deep water access, that last staging point that those bass are going to use before they go up to spawn, which is a great area, and those fish are always going to be there that time. They're not going to vacate that whole area due to boating or fishing pressure. They will shut down, however, and change their feeding habits, and that's what you have to take advantage of. So with that said, the bait that I like to use while doing this method is a stick bait. Now, even if it's late summer and they're out on whatever, but going back to my example of it being a pre-spawn tournament, that water's 55 to 60 degrees, those fish will still eat this thing. So the two ways that I rig it up is weightless, which, man, it is tough to fish a weightless Senko on bluff bank, but it is something that those fish don't see a whole lot on that style of cover, and it's just a completely new look versus those guys that are going with their A-rigs, their rock crawlers, their wiggle warts, their moving power fishing, cover a lot of water baits. This is something totally different that will catch those bass that are still there because it's the last prime piece of cover they have. They're not going to be anywhere else. So this is a phenomenal bait for targeting those fish, a stick bait. Unico rig it, which is my other method that I love to do because you can fish it a little faster on that style of bank. But it's just something not a lot of guys throw at that. Yeah, everybody throws a shaky head. So it's thinking about something outside the box to throw at those fish. Now, I know I just used Lake of the Ozarks as an example, but for you guys that fish up here in our featureless, bowly, grass-style lakes, you guys know we don't have that kind of stuff, but it's no different. Find your community hole areas, your big points, your humps, all that stuff that you know guys are fishing, but it's a community hole for a reason. There's fish there. Find those areas that everyone's fishing or that are sticking out like a sore thumb that you know have bass on it. They are there. You just have to find a different way to catch them. For you guys up here, a really good way to do that is a tube. Tube's a great way to do that. Stick bait, tube, phenomenal baits up here. Stick bait, really, really good down south. Everybody says they throw a stick bait. Not everybody is really, really willing to go up on their front deck, sit in the pedestal seat like those old worm draggers, those old school guys that do all that stuff, and just crawl a bait. I mean, for example, I forced myself to do this year and pick this thing up when I know I could catch them potentially on something else, but I'd have to cover more water. I slowed down in an area that I knew had fish in it, and I took first with my partner on the Fox Chain of Lakes throwing a Senko in an Angler's Choice event, and then I went to the Wolf River Chain in Wisconsin and finished second in the BFL there throwing this bait in an area that was probably 100 yards long by 100 yards wide, and it had 7 boats in there, and I whooped on all of them, just crawling a Senko behind everybody. While everybody was in there flipping, I did not see another boat pull a bass out except for me and my co-angler, because we were sitting there peeling them, just dead sticking and just barely crawling that Senko. So just find those productive areas and do something different. It's an interesting method that sounds like duh, but not a lot of guys do it. So apply this to your fishing. I guarantee you will have more success out there on the water. And with that said, if you guys like this content, drop a like, comment, subscribe, tell your buddies about it. I enjoy doing this. It gives me a chance to get out in the garage and talk fishing. So With that said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.